Hi everyone. Hello, hello. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, to all the fathers and grandfathers, the ones that are still here, the ones that are no longer here, all the wonderful fathers out there. Happy Father's Day to you. Fathers are so important in our lives. My father is I say is in present tense because it's like he's still alive. My father is my hero. I'm the woman I am today because of my father and because of my heavenly father and because of my mom, of course. But I was a real daddy's girl. So, yeah, today I definitely honor my dad. I remember him. And I honor all the dads out there who are wonderful dads, who are present physically and who are present emotionally, because some dads are present physically in the house but they're not present emotionally. So we honor all the great dads today because dads are super important in a kid's life, whether the kid is a child, a female or male. The influence of a father is so important. So everybody, welcome to my live. This is my tea time with Dr. Iyabo series. Today we're talking money. We're talking money. We're talking the dollar sign. Hi, Fit Christina. We're talking the dollar sign today. So everybody get your pens and paper and journals ready. Today I have Iralma Pozo as my guest. She is a CPA, and CPA, I believe, stands for Certified Public Accountant. So she knows all about money. She knows all about money. I have my questions here for her. And whenever you guys have any questions, you can either type it in the chat or you can, better still, you can use the question mark in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And I also want to remind you guys that if you love my series, if you love my platform and all the work that I do, and you love my lives, remember that you can buy a badge to honor me. Okay, the badges are very inexpensive. They range from 99 cents. Then there's the middle one, which is $1.99. Then there's the highest one, which is $4.99. So if you love my tea time with Dr. Iyabo, or you love my live streams that I do very regularly, hi Victoria, or you love my live streams that I do regularly, please go ahead and buy a badge to honor my platform. Yeah, so today we're talking about money. We're talking about the power of entrepreneurship. We're talking about passive income. Hi, Winnie. Hi, Winnie. We're talking about passive income, and we're talking about multiple income streams. So today is a really, really important live, and I have Iralma Pozo. I don't know if she's on yet. Iralma is not very active on Instagram. She's very active on LinkedIn. So make sure that after this tea time, you do go to LinkedIn and you connect with her there. I don't think she has any posts on Instagram. She does have an Instagram page, but she's not active here. But she's very active on LinkedIn. And all of you on here should all be active on LinkedIn. We all need a LinkedIn page. You know, if you're a professional or you have a business of any kind, or you're an entrepreneur, or even you're an aspiring entrepreneur, you should be active on LinkedIn. So yeah, so here she comes. So Iralma is the Duchess of Accounting. She is very, very experienced in accounting. I'm going to bring her on and then I will introduce her and we'll start. Again, like I said, all your money questions, all your entrepreneurship questions, wealth building questions, passive income, multiple income streams, you can start typing them. I will catch all your questions and I'll make sure we will try our best to answer all your questions. Okay, so here comes Iralma. All of you to my live. This is Tea Time with Dr. Iyabo on Father's Day. I welcome all of you. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me as your guest today.
Oh, you are welcome. You're so welcome. Remind me where the name Iralma is from.
My grandmother says that it's biblical, but I have not been able to locate it. I think she just wanted to make sure she could name me and not be questioned.
Okay. What about the last name Pozo?
Pozo is, my family's from the Dominican Republic, and So there's some people from where my father's town is, from Haina, that have that last name. There's a famous comedian that has that last name, and
Okay.
there's some Italians that have that last name. So there's a lot of different people. There's no specific origin, but there's a lot of people that have that last name out there.
Oh, okay. So basically, your family is from the Dominican Republic, you said. Okay.
Yes.
You look so African. I guess you are African heritage because
Yes.
I
Uh,
thought you were going to say something like Sierra Leone or Ivory Coast or something. You kind of look like you could be Sierra Leonean. That's a question I never asked you, even with all our communications. But
Someone actually asked me if I was Nigerian. I know my
yeah,
father's family has a strong black heritage. My mother's family is a little bit more mixed. So
okay.
I'm pretty sure if I did one of those tests that I would find out more.
Yes, I'm pretty sure you would. So yeah, you look African. I don't think you necessarily look Nigerian. I was thinking maybe Sierra Leone or Ugandan or something. And then you know who you remind me of as well? You remind me of Oprah's best friend, Gail.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something. I think it's the top half of your face or something reminds me of Gail. So everybody, welcome. Today we're talking about one of our favorite topics, money. Our favorite topic is money, and then our second favorite is honey, right? This is why I'm the money to honey coach, guys. I have you all covered. I have you covered with all your money issues and all your honey issues. But remember to solve your money issues before your honey issues, guys. Okay? A lot of women have that in the wrong order, and this is what brings us a lot of heartache. And Iralma is going to break it all down for us today. So you guys know that I really want every woman to be financially independent, and I want every woman to have love in their lives. But think about the purpose and the money first. So Iralma is a CPA, and CPA stands for Certified Public Accountant, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And she has worn many, many hats in life. She has over 20 years of accounting experience, guys. 20 years of accounting experience. That's not a joke. But she's currently an independent consultant, educator, and motivator who provides value adding services and empowerment to businesses and to individuals. Her CV is very long. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but like I said in the beginning, you guys have to follow Iralma on LinkedIn. We both connected on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very powerful platform. So if you're on here today and you want to be financially independent and you don't have a LinkedIn platform and you're not active on LinkedIn, you're not halfway there yet. Every woman needs a LinkedIn platform. So we connected on LinkedIn. This is the first time we're seeing each other face to face. We've just been texting by word, but we had a really good connection. So remember that any business you have, for it to really survive, you need a CPA in your life. I've said this over and over in many live streams. The reason why I have been able to scale my first business over the last 18 years to 7 figures and keep it there is because I've had a CPA for over 20 years. The same CPA that was my CPA in residency is the person who's still my CPA today. So if you have a business today that is more than 1 year old and you don't have a CPA with your business, I've brought you somebody today that you can hire. Because this is not even just about, I'm trying to find business for my friend Iralma. It is vital business advice. You need a CPA, not just a bookkeeper. You need a CPA for your business to thrive. That's one gem that I want to offer you first today. So, Iralma, we're diving in right now. And everybody, just start typing your questions. I'm a multitasker. I will get all your questions. So, Iralma, everybody wants to make money. I want to make money. You want to make money. I want to scale my coaching business to 7 figures. I want to keep scaling my pediatric business to 7, 8 figures. What are the top 3 ways in the world we live in now to make money? What are top 3 ways that everybody on here can start to think of to use to make money?
Well, thank you. Thank you for that introduction and thank you for the invitation. So the top three ways that you can start to make money are leveraging your own expertise, right? So think of ways that you already are and that you're able to scale what you know and teach others, right? So let's say you're an expert at setting up a practice, or you're an expert at offering a particular treatment. You want to make sure that you can scale that and sell that to others so that they can learn and they can grow. You want to be collaborating with other people. Then there's trying to make sure you're making money while you sleep with your business and with the passive income. And we'll talk about passive income in more detail, right? So let's say that you have a community of people already that are clients that love your content, they love what you do, but you can't really do one-on-one coaching every day. You can't do one-on-one coaching for 1,000 people. It's humanly impossible. Even if you did half an hour a week, a month, you can't do one-on-one coaching for 1,000 people. So you can actually set up some type of subscription fee or platform where you have the information there and then do group coaching. So making sure you're scaling things that you're doing. And another way is also making sure that you're getting some affiliate marketing. So if you already have a business set up, for example, I'm an accountant. I help a lot of people to find technology that works for their business so that they're not, they're actually doing their business and living their lives. They're not sitting there doing bookkeeping that they should have outsourced to someone else. They're not sitting there scheduling meetings that they should have done to someone else. So a lot of the platforms that I use or recommend have some type of affiliate marketing so that if I recommend someone to it, even if I'm not using or setting you up directly, I would be able to get a fee. So there are already things that you are doing that could bring you money, that can kind of ease some of that pressure. Because I think that a lot of times people are scared of entrepreneurship because they feel like they have to do it all. But some things things that you're already doing, you can actually leverage.
Wow. All that information, guys, in about a minute or 2 minutes. This is why I love smart women. And somehow there's a magnetic pull between myself and smart women. I just get pulled towards smart women because I can spot them from a distance, even before I speak with them. I knew Irama just from our communications and reading her, her posts on LinkedIn. She said so many gems here, guys. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to be scared of entrepreneurship because you have to do it all. You can outsource to somebody like Irauma can help you in your business. Whatever you're an expert at, you can leverage it to make money. I want to touch on that, Irauma, because that is the roadblock for a lot of women, okay? I get it, you get it, because we're both confident women. A lot of women are experts in many things. They don't know that they're experts in many things. They don't want to accept the fact that they're experts. There's a lot of imposter syndrome in 80% of women. How do they overcome that?
Well, you're a doctor, so I'll mention the top ways therapy, right? We all have, some of our roadblocks actually come from past trauma or from things that we were taught. So we have to unlearn things that we were taught in childhood. Like, for example, my family's, I'm a first generation American. My family are immigrants. They've told me, feel lucky that you have a job. So when I go to corporate America and you have all these microaggressions to deal with, there's, again, saying, feel lucky you have a job. But I have my own talent. I've done a lot of work on myself. I've taken upon myself to become a lifetime learner. So I shouldn't feel lucky that I have a job. The job should feel lucky that they have me. And we're not taught to be confident enough to see what we bring to the table. So now you have to go back and unlearn that and figure out where that came from, where the messaging came from. Because to be an entrepreneur, when you're walking in there, you're trying to get funding. When you're walking in there, you're trying to get a client. The client doesn't want to hear about you had a bad day or you're insecure. It's like when you go on a first date, right? You can't bring all your issues to the first date. You have to try to get the second date and the third date, right? So it's the same thing with entrepreneurship. You're trying to find these clients, people to collaborate with, people who are going to introduce you to other people, and they don't want to hear your issues. So you have to go back and say, what are my mental mind blocks? What is holding me back? And then what don't I really know? Because when you're sitting there in silos working with people, you don't really know what you don't know because you're not exposed to it. So you have to
Yes.
go out there. Like LinkedIn can be a masterclass if you follow people who are really good at
Yes.
what you want to know, right?
Yeah.
It can be free. Then you figure out like, what are they using? They're talking about this tool again. Let me go and check that tool. And then you figure things out. Then you go to conferences. Then there's a business coach. Everyone thinks that business coaching is just an add-on, but anything that can give you clarity, clarity is what you're looking for. Clarity so that you can build plans and you can build yourself. Because you have to walk in there, you have to leave behind all the baggage so you can elevate yourself. And you can really concentrate on what you're trying to build. So your mindset is everything. Whenever I work with clients or colleagues, I don't really care about what they don't know. I need to figure out their mindset first, because if they're sitting there feeling insecure about themselves or not realizing the gems that they have, then I have to kind of work on that. So one thing that when I worked with a business coach, she asked me to make a list of some, I think like 1,000 accomplishments or something. Or was it 100? But I was like, I can't do this. It's gonna take me. I don't have enough accomplishments. But then I started writing things. I'm like, wow, I've accomplished a lot. So you have to give yourself that credit. It's like you're doing a SWOT analysis on yourself, seeing where your strengths and weaknesses are. And the weakness part is that's going to be helpful when you're trying to figure out what to outsource. Like I know I'm terrible with administrative things. I trade with people. I'll do something technical for them so they can do my administrative work. I've done that in the past. So in entrepreneurship, I have to figure out how to automate it, outsource it, delegate it, eliminate it. Otherwise, I'll be drowned sitting there trying to do something administrative for 3 hours instead of building a course or coaching someone or teaching a class. So you have to really have that self-awareness and build your self-confidence. You don't have to be fully self-confident, but you do have to act confident. So
Ha.
yeah, because we're not perfect.
Keep going. Keep going. No, do you know how much I'm learning myself? I'm going to keep all these notes and, meditate on them. I'm a sponge. That is part of my success. I'm a sponge. I learn from people who are good. I learn from people who are bad. Because bad as in bad is subjective, but I learn from people who are not good for me. So I know not to go there. I'm a sponge.
And that
That,
has helped me a lot to
yes.
actually see what other people are doing that isn't working. I remember a friend of mine told me to make all of my mistakes on someone else's payroll. You have to be careful if you're in a field like medicine. You don't want to be making mistakes, but do observe what other people are doing wrong, or even your own mistakes from the past. Figure out how they align with your goals so that you don't make them again. If you don't walk into this with your self-awareness, then you're not going to be very successful. You have to have a roadmap of where you've been and where you can go.
Wow. Irama, we all need you in our life. All of us need you in our lives. I'm telling you, there's so many gems. I can't keep repeating them, but I'm going to give them to you real quick for 1 minute, then we'll move on. Iralma said, you don't have it all, you don't have to have it all figured out. That is what LinkedIn is for. You can go to LinkedIn, follow people there who are powerful, make LinkedIn your masterclass. You have to keep learning. You don't have to be fully confident, because none of us is fully confident, but you do have to act confident. Oh my goodness, if we ended this show right now, that is enough. Because if you don't act confident, you're not going to attract good opportunities to yourself. You guys ask me all the time how I get all these fantastic guests on my tea time. It's because I come out and I'm acting confident. I do want to say humbly, I am a very confident person. I'm pretty sure Iralma is too, but I can't say I'm 100% confident. No way. I have, my tiny insecurities here and there, but when I show up confident. Some of you can't even show up. That's the problem. Some of you can't even show your face or show up on social media. There lies the problem. How can you become an online, entrepreneur if you're not going to show up online? She talked about sleeping and making money. That is working smarter, not harder. She talked about collaborations, talked about affiliate marketing, talked about how you have to have a roadmap to be able to be successful. She talked about subscription business model. She talked about therapy. We all need therapy. It is not a bad thing to need therapy. A lot of you women suffering from imposter syndrome, you do have things from your past you have to deal with. Because if you don't deal with your past, myself as a coach, Iralma as a CPA, we cannot fully help you. We can't help you because she also said you have to leave behind the baggage so you can move forward. So think about it that the baggage is on your left side. If you don't deal with all that baggage and you come to me and you pay me $10,000 to hire me as your business coach, or you go to Iralma and hire her for $20,000, or I'm not sure how much, how many hours and all that, the work is not going to be effective because you haven't left your baggage behind. Let's move on. What is passive income?
So passive income is when you are making money without having to work extra time, right? So you're not physically going to the office to do this work. You're not physically, working with your clients. So for example, real estate, when you join partnerships with other people, when you have some type of residual income, like think of when an artist already has created an album or someone has written a book and now they're just sitting back and doing other things and they're getting the royalties. So it's you have to really focus on this a lot because you see not-for-profits, corporations, when they're trying to reinvest in themselves, they're not going out there all the time and fundraising more, right? They're going back and they're using money that they earned from the stock market or from other things to be able to reinvest.
Yes.
So you have to be able to have income that you don't have to work more for. Because the goal of life is not to just live to work, right? We have demanding careers, right? You can't be a lawyer or an accountant, a doctor, and think you're not going to work very hard, but you can't work 24/7 or 500 days a year, right? There aren't 500 days a year. So you have to make sure that you're clearing out your time so you can actually live your life. Yeah. And a lot of people forget that, oh yes, you have to live your life, right? Because that's where the frustration comes in as well. If you're going to build a business to work more than you ever worked before, let's say you're a lawyer, you leave, right? And now instead of working 100 hours like you're working as an associate, now you want to work 200. I'm pretty sure you will be at the doctor's office or at an emergency care very soon because now you're trying to do it all on your own. So you have to always have that mindset of how am I going to create time? And how you create time is by earning money that you don't have to work for. So when you go back and you think about your habits and your mindset, you're not trying to become an entrepreneur so you can buy Prada bags. If you like Prada bags, that's fine. But it can't be you're just buying Prada bags. You have to also invest. You have to have a budget for investing. You have to have a budget. You have to understand your risk appetite and understand what you can deal with, because the passive income piece, you have to also be informed. You have to understand not everyone is as ethical as a doctor or a CPA or a lawyer, right? When you go to these financial advisors, some of them are fee hungry and they will ask you to invest in things that don't make sense. And there are a lot of scams. So there are a lot of layers to passive income. It's not just, okay, I want to make this money. Like think of Madoff, how he was charming and had people give them all his money, right? And he just kept it and had a pyramid scheme. So you have to understand that even while you're making money as you sleep, you can't triple your money overnight, right? We hear of some organizations, their stock price goes up, but you still have to understand trends. You have to be an educated consumer and understand what you're comfortable with. Like think of Warren Buffett, right? And things that he says. And always be comfortable when you're investing. So first educate yourself a little bit. And there are a lot of tools out there, like Elevest. There are places you can get information that's been vetted that are from people who actually worked in Wall Street and who have set up their own shop, and they're putting your money with a custodian. They're not keeping your money. And then there are people who just give information online. So follow some program or someone and learn and start setting up a program for yourself and a budget, including in that budget, understanding how you're investing. And all the passive income doesn't have to be on your own. Some of it could be through your employer. And it's very important to understand the passive income piece, because how are you going to fund this business that you're going to start? We have all these dreams of people starting from their garage, but your kids still need to eat. You still need health insurance. You still need the lights on. You cannot have a business without your lights on. So you have to make sure that you're building something for not just your future, but to take advantage of opportunities and to build your empire.
I just love you, Irama. You're wonderful. You're wonderful. You said always be comfortable when investing. Passive income is earning money that you don't have to work for. That for me, that's my goal. Like, I have a pediatric practice where I hire doctors and staff. I don't really see patients anymore. I just have my laptop in front of me at home and I'm managing everything. I could be on the beach and I'm managing everything. To me, that's passive income. Yeah, that's passive income. And I've used my first business to start funding all of my other businesses. I did have to take out a loan, which is my next question for you, because this is where women get stuck. So there'll be many women who come to my DM every single day. They want to sign up for my coaching. Okay, at least the ones who've realized, yes, I do need a business coach in my life. Some are still resistant. They're still trying to do it on their own, but that's a topic for later. But for the ones who are now like, okay, I can't do it on my own. I need a business coach, or I need a CPA or somebody, but I don't have any money. Even though I don't believe most women when they say that, I don't, because the same women who say they don't have money, they do have money for other things. It's the same women that will come with me and say, I'm so sorry, Dr. Iyabo, I borrowed this guy $5,000 because I thought he was serious, he was going to marry me, but now he's dumped me and my money is gone. So these are the same women who make silly mistakes, or who buy the flashiest car, or they can afford like my $1,000 wig, but they say they don't have money for coaching. So that's priority. So that's one thing you're going to address for women. But the other thing is, how, if there are many women on here now, I recognize them in my community. They want to sign up for my coaching. They want to start a business, but the statement they always make is, I cannot afford it. I do not have the money. And I tell them, my answer to them, which I'm not telling them to do what I did, but what I did 18 years ago at the age of 33 was I wrote a detailed business plan. The business plan told me that I needed about 300K. So I went looking for a loan for 350K. My dad was a very good business person. He said, Iyabo, go out and look for funds for the money. So I went everywhere. As a Black woman in Georgia, everybody said no. I didn't get the loan from anybody. SBA, all the banks. One bank finally pulled me aside and said, Iyabo, you're a Nigerian American. Nobody's going to give you that money because they're going to think you're going to run back to Nigeria with it. So you better go to other sources. So I'm a very determined person. I kept putting the word out, putting the word out. Finally, I found this small bank in Florida, Indian owned, who loaned me the money at double the interest rate. I asked my dad said, I trust you, you're hardworking. If it was somebody else, I'll say, don't do it. Do it, just make sure you pay it back quickly. I paid it back. I paid back 350K within 5 years. And at 6 years, my business was $1 million business. So can you take all of what I just said and use it to please help the women out there that money is not going to come down your chimney to help you start a business?
It definitely is not. And if you've ever read The Secret, if you've ever heard about the law of attraction, if you've heard about abundance, that mindset of saying you don't have money is not helping the situation. Because how are you going to find money if you've already put that block? Like, you cannot be part of the reasons why you're getting rejected. Yes, you have to be realistic. I know that people sometimes say I'm too overly optimistic, but I've never used the word broke, because if you're already putting yourself down financially, instead of looking for opportunities. Nowadays, you have a lot of grant programs for women, and even then, they'll put you through the ringer to give you like $5,000. And then they want you to do programs that are like mini MBAs. So no one is going to give you money for free. Forget about your family. They're not going to give you their money. They're going to feed you
My
if you
dad
need to be
said
fed.
no. When I asked my
Yes.
dad, I knew he could loan me. He said no. He said, I'm not going to give it to you. Go out and raise it.
Yes. No one's going to give you, your family and your friends are not going to give you money. Forget about that. Can you go to your 401k and get the money? Yes, but no. Go talk to someone before you do that. If you need the money today and you're a certain age, and then what's going to happen to you later on in life?
Yeah.
Right? So who's going to feed you? Your kids? Good luck with that. Some people decide to just keep working full time as they're building their business. Obviously, it's impossible to do if you're building a business that physically needs you to be there, right? You can't see patients and be at the other place. So you're going to have to really sit down. If you can't sit there and do your business plan, then how is someone even going to reject your business plan if you don't even know what it is? So that goes back to that clarity. So I know that you don't feel like spending tens and $20,000 worth of money to work with someone, but you need to have the clarity. And it's like when you're at the gym and someone's spotting you. It's very easy to push that dumbbell with the 50 pounds when someone is holding you. They just have their finger up. They're not doing anything. You need someone to coach you. And you need like a pre-coach, right? Like before these athletes become famous, they still have someone coaching them to get them to be drafted. That's why you have to have a coach then at the beginning. So you have to do the work to find the right person who can do the pre-coaching so you can even go and do the other thing, right?
Yes.
So don't be afraid. That goes back to you budgeting your money, right? You've been working all this time, all these decades. What have you been doing with your money? It's not trying to insult anyone. We've all made financial mistakes. But if you're really serious about trying to start a business, do you need 5 streaming services? Where do you really watch the movies? Like, start cutting the big and the small, right? Do you need 5 vacations? Like, why haven't you bought a vacation home already? If you want to go on vacation that much to this place, you could have been renting this thing out and going on vacation for free with the government sponsored vacation, because you can use the rental property for 14 days and still deduct everything. So you have to figure out what's really important to you, right? For your life and for your business. And start living a life that reflects that, because I've had the friends that make me spend a lot of money, but they're no longer my friends, right? So you have to really evaluate all the things you're consuming in your life to see, am I really getting anything out of buying 5 pairs of stilettos? Where am I going? I'm not a shoe model. Nobody's seeing your feet when you go to those weddings, right? What are your priorities? What do you need? What are your needs and what are your wants? Some of us like to be well groomed when we go to certain meetings, right? Like, I would not do a TED talk without looking a certain way. Like, I just wouldn't. It's part of, it's for the confidence, right? Like, I just wouldn't feel comfortable not looking a certain way. But do I need to actually own the clothes I'm going to wear there? I can rent them, right? I don't need a $5,000 dress sitting in my closet. So yeah, you really have to bet on yourself. And that goes back to clearing your mind of whatever it is that's in there. Do you really believe you deserve something? Do you believe you deserve to really be the CEO of your own life? To actually live according to your own terms? Do you believe that you can do it? Or do you think that if you set up this business, you're just going to be depressed and in bed? If you haven't managed to feel that you can actually build this life, then you have work to do before you even start building it, because you need to believe in yourself. You may be the only person believing in yourself. There are going to be times you're going to think you're crazy, because you're going to be like, why am I investing in this course instead of going on vacation? Like, am I really believing this course is going to bring me this money? So everything it's moderation, but you really have to have this good mindset, because if you don't believe that you're investing in yourself, if you don't see what something is going to bring to the table for you, then how are people going to believe in you? When you go to those clients, when you finally go and you're getting leads from LinkedIn and you get meetings with people and they want to sign up with you, but you're sounding iffy, right?
Yes.
Why would they sign up with you versus someone else?
Yes. Yes.
So no one is going to drop money from the sky for you. But there are a lot of ways to raise money. But you have to present yourself a certain way. So let's say that you can find someone who helps you pitch your business so you can win pitch competitions. And I've forgotten her name. Precious Williams is someone that I follow on LinkedIn. Like, some people don't want to pay her for her services, but she has 2 books out. So understand where you are right now, right? If you can't, most people have books out. Why haven't you bought their books if you're not ready to pay them? You know, I'd rather save my money to pay someone to help me get to where I want to go than waste my money on stuff I don't need and then be in the same place next year.
Me too. Me too. People see when I'm posting, well, pre-pandemic, I would always post pictures of all my travels with my daughters, and people would wonder, oh, how does she do it? They don't remember that when I first started my business in 2004, we did not go on any vacations. My daughter's summer, in fact, today we still laugh about it. Their summer vacations were in my office. I couldn't afford a babysitter, but because I owned my own office, we would pack breakfast and lunch, pack DVDs. They still remember there's a DVD they used to watch then over and over and over. But their summer vacations were in the office. That's all I could do. And then would go for one weekend somewhere for a road trip or something. That's all I could do for many, many years until my practice started grossing 7 figures. And then the luxurious vacation started. Then I started, there's a time for everything. I wasn't born like this. Well, God did give me gifts of confidence and persistence and all that. But it doesn't happen overnight. But you do have to start at some point, guys. You have to believe in yourself. I wrote it out in capital letters. Iralma and myself as telling you what I've been saying. You have to believe in yourself. So Iralma, the next question I have for you is, you've told women about how they can raise the money. There's many different ways. There's many women who are in debt. They've already made bad mistakes and they're now, drowning in debt. How can they begin to get out of debt and restart their lives and start building wealth?
So, it's like I can't tell you everyone's that stories or my own, right? Some people will only tell their grandchildren or a priest or someone, the therapist, what's going on. And people have a lot of shame around money. So you may be sitting there scared about your debt story and not knowing that someone next door to you, your best friend, has something worse.
Yes.
The first thing is acknowledging the debt. Like literally take a spreadsheet and write out everything you owe to everyone down to the penny. And the second thing is figuring out a plan to attack this debt. And with that plan, assessing why you're in debt in the first place. If you're in debt because you don't have any other addictions, but you have an addiction to shopping, like you're filling up the emptiness with shopping. You hate your job and you do retail therapy. Like you're not addressing the situation, right? You're instead of going to career coach, you just go shopping after work. Then you see what the problem is, right? Now you have a little bit of clarity. You can go and get a career coach. You're spending the money anyway, right? If you see that the reason that you're spending money is because you're overeating, because you don't cook, you don't plan for anything, you don't meal prep. You don't have to cook, right? But if you're very busy, there's a way to meal prep. There's a way to expense things from your company. There's a way to do better than just you woke up and you decide you want a 3-course meal from the expensive restaurant. But getting that clarity, why are you in debt? And what is your debt? Down to the penny, right? Going through all those letters. If you're not even able to open up a letter from a debt collector, then you need to sit down with yourself and calm yourself down and take that spreadsheet or whatever it is and just write everything out. Because if you don't know what the debt is, then how are you going to address it? So check your credit score and go through all your letters or whatever the case may be and see what the debt is. Decide how you're going to figure out how to pay the debt. So either you're going to do the avalanche or the snowball. So the avalanche is attacking the debt that has the highest interest rate. So you're going to pay all your minimum payments for all the debt, but there's going to be one part of the debt where that has the largest interest rate, you're going to pick that one to pay off more. Yeah. So this means that you're going to have a budget, right? The no more that you're just whatever comes in after your bills that you're just spending. That's not going to work. Or you're going to use a snowball effect, where you're going to take the smallest debt and pay that off in increments. So you're going to give yourself rewards, right? You have to find a way to reward yourself non-monetarily. So let's say, for example, if I have a good day, I go to a park and read a book. How much did that cost me? It's going to cost me $6 because I'm going to go to the coffee shop next to the park to buy some iced tea that I could have made at home, but I've already made like 10 cups of tea already at home. So find ways to reward yourself cheaper, right, and more healthy. And figuring out why you're in debt in the first place is very important, because a lot of times, women are in debt because they're being underpaid. Every woman is underpaid. I'm a CPA. I have 2 degrees. I sit in rooms with people. I've sat in boardrooms, right? I'm the one with the highest degrees. I've worked my age in years, and they're still underpaying me. Even the clients that I work with try to negotiate. This is not a flea market. The rate is the rate. So I'm just going to increase my rate to $500 per hour or something now. But you're underpaid, right? And then you're trying to figure out, you think you're bad with money. You're not bad with money. You're underpaid, right? So
can you say that again, Irelma? Let women realize that they are underpaid.
I have audited payroll, and I've gone to the bathroom to clean my face because I feel like crying. I've seen women with master's degree, doctoral degrees. I know what the market rate is. Yes. I've seen what their counterparts make. I've worked with men who have 5 years less experience than me. I've had to train them. They've supervised me. They have custom suits on, and I was going to Burlington Coats Factory to get a suit for 70% off. And they were living in a place with the rent is 3 times what my rent was. I know that I was underpaid. I've checked the salary guides for my own field, right? Because I talk to students about accounting, and I've seen it. I've had, I remember one time I was sitting there at a job interview and asking for like $20,000 more. And the person quickly gave me $15,000 more. And that was still less than I was supposed to make. So he was excited that I didn't negotiate more. I could have asked him for $30,000 more. So you need to understand where you underpaid, because that could be the reason why you can't send your kids to summer camp. That could be the reason why you work so hard and you're not eating right because you're buying crap, and then you're not feeling good. You don't have the right mindset. You're not eating any brain food. You're not eating the right omega 3, 6, and 9, or whatever it is. You can't go to the business coach because your 401k looks horrible, right? So all of your benefits from your job depend on your compensation. And if you're underpaid, let's say by 40%, because part of it is because you haven't negotiated. So I know there's a lot of negative press about pay inequality, but did you negotiate your salary? What are you doing at your job, right? So make sure that you're looking to see what the actual market rate is for your job, and then see what else they've added onto your plate now that some people are leaving. And go back in there and negotiate. What are they going to do, fire you? And sometimes you have to interview to see how much you're worth. You don't have to go anywhere. Just go to this other place, come back with this counter offer, and if they show you the door, then go take the other job. But you have to understand, and then if they don't give you more money, like I've told a friend of mine who was telling me she was working over, I never worked those amount of hours in public accounting. And I said, if you need your advanced degree for your next job, and you're sitting there working 20 to 30 to 43 hours, why don't you scale back and then finish your degree and go get your next job? So you have to see what else are you doing. Your time is more valuable than any money you can get. Because if you work let's say you're working 23 hours for someone, forget about how much they should be paying you. You could have already been building your business.
Irelma, we have to do a part 2 of this. No, seriously. As you're speaking, I'm getting chills, because I'm going to make sure that every woman watches the replay of this. When we're done, I'm going to do a video because I'm putting this on my YouTube channel. You know why? Because I'm a businesswoman. My YouTube is monetized. Okay? So this is a powerful video. I don't leave it on my Instagram because Instagram hasn't yet started paying me for IGTV. I am one of the few creators on Instagram who is now getting paid for doing lives. I have been monetized fully by Instagram. Before, I relied on people buying badges, but now Instagram is paying me money for the lives that I do. They're not paying me for the IGTV, but when I go live, if I go live for 15 minutes every single week, they're paying me monthly. I'm also monetized on YouTube, so I take this video and I put it on my YouTube because that's also generating money, passive income. Okay, so guys, what Irama just said, I am the example of that, and I've said it on many videos. Let me break it down for you again in 1 minute or less. When I first started working as a doctor in America, the first job I got in Georgia, I was 32 years old. She paid me $95,000 a year. I owned as a board certified pediatrician with many years of experience. I had already worked in England for 5 years. I came with my MRCP from England, but I was still paying a mere $95,000. I wanted to work there for 2 years before starting my business, but after 9 months, I quit because I was sick of it. Because I did the math, I know how much I was generating for her. I was seeing about 40 to 50 patients a day for her. So I said, why should I do this for somebody? So I went to start mine. Listen to me, my salary went from 95,000, seeing the same number of patients, 35 to 40 patients a day, and I was grossing about 1.2 million. Do you see the difference? And this lady, and I have nothing against her. She's just a really good businesswoman. We're friends. I have her number, we text. Then I didn't like her because I'm like, she's cheating me. But she's just a wise businesswoman. She had 3 locations and each location had about 3 or 4 doctors in it. Do the math of how much this woman was earning. In excess of $30 million a year, because I just started seeing the same number of patients I was seeing every day in my practice. And instead of, well, my salary obviously wasn't 1.2 million. You know, you have to pay your overhead, but do the math, my overhead was very low because I'm a good business person. So I'm not going to tell you how much I was paying myself, but the same 35 to 40 patients where I was being paid by my boss, 95,000, I went to create my own, and my income shot up by more than 10 times. Which brings me to the next question, Iralma. What are the advantages of entrepreneurship?
Well, the advantages, like you mentioned, for example, being able to charge what you're worth, right? Because you're not going to set up a business to go back to the rat race, right? You're not going to go back to the hamster wheel. You're going to set your fees. If people don't want them, then that's fine. If I tell someone I'm going to charge them $500 per hour and they don't want to use my service, that's great. Go read an article that I wrote or something. I'll see you later. Go, you know, but the tax advantages, right? You can write everything off. Not everything, right? There's before moderation. Like your cell phone is no longer yours, right? It's your business. Then all these perks you can give yourself, right? No longer do your children have to walk around without dental insurance, or do you have to be scared to ski, right? You can save so much money. Let's say you set up a SEP IRA and you love real estate and you want to set up real estate within that because you want to, and then you can set other family members up with their own accounts, and there's just it's limitless what you can do, right? Within savings that you can have, things that you can set up for yourself. You no longer have to be sitting there wondering if your boss feels like sponsoring you to go to a conference. Now you can go to the conference, make your company pay for it, promote your company there, like pay an extra whatever amount of money, promote your company while you're there. If you have written books or done something, promote that material there. You're doing marketing, you're doing sales, you're doing public speaking. And if you want to make it into vacation, right, this room that you were going to use, it's deductible anyway. Like if your kids stay in the room, you've just given your kids a semi-sponsored vacation without having to do anything that's wrong. there's just a lot that you can do. And just the sense of pride of setting up your own business, it's different when you're working for yourself, because you want to take the afternoon off and work on Sunday. Who's going to tell you no? You want to hire another person to do part of your work. Who's going to tell you? There's no one that's going to stop you. You're the only person who's going to be able to stop you. You're tired of seeing patients or clients? Bring in more people, right? Set up more remote things. Get your virtual assistant. And you can go back and you can scale back and you can sell to people your model, right? There's one CPA who's set up this virtual remote service, right? And, you know, he never wants to give any detail because he wants you to sign up for his course. But he has people working around the nation. He meets them once or twice and takes them to a retreat. People are sitting in their home working for him, happy they don't have to go to a crummy office. They get to do the part of the work that they love. He outsources all the grunt work. So you can actually do more for your profession because you're an entrepreneur. You're making your own rules. And, you know, there will be things that you have to deal with. Overnight success takes 10 years or more, but you're in the driver's seat now, right? Now you're driving in a Lamborghini if you want. But, you know, if you decide to buy a Lamborghini or a Bugatti, there are IRS rules that limit luxury, right? But if you decide you want to have lunch every day and write it off, right, because you're having a business meeting, so there's a lot. There's a lot that you can get through entrepreneurship. And it's really up to you. Do you want to do it or not do it? Do you want to have a side business, or do you really just want to walk off, and do your own thing? And if you fail, nobody cares. Because it's your life. It's not like when you fail at work and they're screaming at you. Like, you fail as an entrepreneur, people are expecting you to fail. So, and then you can sell the lessons of your failures.
Yes.
So you can even make money off of that. So it's not all a walk in the park or a box of chocolate, but, do you want to be on your deathbed regretting that you never tried? I know I don't want to be on my deathbed regretting that I never tried. Like, what I was doing, so I was mentoring a student the other day in the middle of the day. I would have had to ask permission of a boss to take an hour in the middle of the day to speak to someone. Like, why would you have to ask someone other than your parents for permission?
Yes.
So you should really look at the advantages. Don't look at only the disadvantages. Like, try to set a foundation for yourself so that you can take risk. Even if you decide you don't want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be an intrapreneur, make sure you negotiate in a way that you get credit for the things you do inside of your organization. But there's a lot for you to win by being able to unleash your power, not just be sitting there and following orders and doing mundane, mediocre work for the rest of your life.
It's so very similar words. Are you in the driver's seat? You're doing mediocre work. It's true. So many people do mediocre work, and they're even underpaid for the mediocre work that they're doing. So, I'm going to take Winnie's question in a second. Winnie is one of my coaching clients. Winnie, I think you may have joined late, but I believe that Iralma had already said how can they figure out their own value is by going to therapy. But I'll pose this question to her in a second. I think you came late. That was my first question. And she said that a lot of women have baggage from their past. That's why they don't know their value. They really need to go to therapy to uncover all that baggage once and for all and leave it behind. But I want to ask this question because I'm sure if I did a poll now, there's many women on this live, but there's probably only 2 or 3 doctors on this live, probably no lawyers. It's usually the professionals who complain of being burnt out, who are tired and stressed out by their jobs, who are looking for a way out. But even though they're tired and burnt out and suicide rates are highest, amongst doctors and dentists, they're still the most resistant to entrepreneurship. They don't come to my lives. They don't even want, if I message them and I say, aren't you looking into entrepreneurship? Oh, no, 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 I don't want that. I'm not ready. Why are professionals like doctors so resistant to having their own businesses?
Well, because people think that you have to have everything figured out. Like, I realized, because I was lucky enough to have worked in public accounting and to see how much my bosses were charging for my time. So I have no problem charging half of what they were charging for me. Like, I never saw a client complaining about the rates. A lot of people don't have that luxury of seeing, like, this basic work you're doing is already worth this much. How much more would it be worth if you actually invest in yourself and doing more? Yeah. People have this fear of they're going to go broke. So guess what? You know, there are a lot of part-time jobs out there. Like, go teach at a college and get, like, if you need to see that direct deposit in your account to feel this fake financial security, because it's all fake financial security. Yes. People say they need health insurance. You can buy health insurance. They need a retirement plan. You can invest and build your own retirement plan.
Yeah, I have.
You still have it. Yeah, yeah. They need instruction. There are coaches in your field and general coaches that can help you have instruction. There are people who are selling you a model of how to do the work. Like, if you're a professional, like, for example, for me, I'm a CPA. There are professional organizations that give you templates. You have to pay for them. You can go take a course and get templates to do the work you want to do. You can use some applications that actually have embedded contracts you can use. So all these excuses, right? They're really not true. All the things you think you need, you can get, you can buy. That's why you need to make sure you're taking care of your money. Because when you take care of your money, the money creates more freedom for you, having that leverage. So if you really are scared to not understand how much money is coming in, make sure you set up some passive income. Make sure you get a part-time job that's giving you some money. Like, soothe your fears. Because even if you have a spouse, you can't just throw all of your financial burdens from your business on your spouse or your family. Because you still have, your home has to still be functioning, right? You can't say, I'm going to set up this business and it's going to cost me $500,000 a year and expect that people are just going to throw in money to your business. You have to work on your fear factor, right? Like Joyce Meyer says, do it afraid. Like, yes, do it afraid, but have a full stomach. So make sure you have a way to cover your bases. Like, if you have to set up an emergency fund, when you do your business plan and you set up a budget and you figure out how much it's actually going to cost you to actually run the business, right? Because let's say you're building a business that's not going to bring any money in for 6 months. The business is still running. The payroll has to be paid. And you have to eat. You still have to show up looking good to these meetings. You can't show up to the meeting looking like you just left from the gym, right? Who's going to give you this partnership? You have to make sure that you understand where you're not comfortable with. Like, let's say that you want to send your kids to this particular school no matter what happens in your life. Like, you'll sleep in a car bench, on a car on a park bench, but they need to go to this particular school because you want them to have X, Y, and Z. Right? If that's non-negotiable to you, then you have to make sure you're budgeting for that. If for you it's that you need to be able to visit your family in another place, it's gonna cost you a certain amount. You need to be with them for Thanksgiving. So understand what's non-negotiable to you. Understand where your money fears are, but start getting better with money. I don't know if you've heard about the Budgetnista, but she wrote a book called Getting Good with Money. And people are like, why would you read that? Everyone should read a book like that because we all have something we're not good at, right? Like, I could go into a place and spend like $1,000 on chocolate or costume jewelry. I don't even care. I wouldn't even blink. Yeah. But so I don't go to those places. You have to know. You have to know what your triggers are, what your fears are, and you have to realize there's a way to do everything, to provide everything. Like, the universe really truly provides. There's nothing in this world you can't buy. I mean, you can't buy love, but anyway. But there's nothing you can't buy.
Very true.
So you have to find ways to pay for things. Leverage. Sometimes you're going to have to sit through those incubator programs or whatever that is to get that $5,000, to get that marketing plan done. So what are you willing to sacrifice to get to what you want, right? So one thing is like, because people always talk about the money, but people underestimate the time. It's going to take you some time. So you cannot think you're going to see 50 clients a day, like you mentioned, to build a business. Like, when are you building the business? Are you building the business while you're sleeping? Like, so there's going to have to be some planning and things. So you have to make sure that you understand that you may have to have a talk with your family. Like, I'm going to need extra childcare. I'm going to need someone to help me clean my house. I'm going to need someone to help me feed myself, because there's no way you're going to be able to build this business, see your clients, come home and cook a 5-course meal. You know, you may have to negotiate with your kids, like, this salad and this sandwich is it. On Sunday, I will cook for you all of your favorites, and you'll have them until Wednesday. But you have to get rid of your money fear. Like, you have to be confident. It's going to sound crazy, but I know I'm CPA. I'm not supposed to tell you not to. You cannot tie your success to numbers, whether it's a dress size, number of family members,
yes,
your net income, because you never know what's going to happen in life, right? Like, you cannot tie yourself to numbers. Like, you can't do that. So yes, you have to have goals, but if you don't meet your $3 million revenue this year, go back, go to your coach, go to where you need to go, figure it out. Why did you meet it? You should have had a CPA to figure out, to have the systems to see where you were going in the first place every quarter and every month.
Yes.
So it should not have been a surprise.
Yeah.
You have to have a way to be able to have some transparency, right? But you have to have a way to be confident when you have $2 in your pocket. Like, know that your current situation is not your destination. So if you can't walk into that room to pitch for $500,000 with $2 in your pocket, having stayed at your friend's couch because you couldn't afford a hotel, then you don't have the right mindset yet. Yes. So yes, I would love for you to be a millionaire and to have all this money, but you have to have enough confidence to show as if you have the confidence, because you're not always going to have the money, right? Sometimes you're going to reinvest in your business, and your cash flow is going to be tight, and you can't walk around depressed to see your clients. Your clients don't want to see that. They don't want drama. No. You're not a movie. You're not Tyler Perry or whoever, right? Yeah. Your clients don't want to hear like, oh, I can't take you out to lunch today because I have to pay for my kids' school because all the clients paid me late. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Iralma, do you have 10 more minutes?
Sure.
Okay. I do want to see everybody that as you're listening, I hope you have written down Iralma's name. Okay? I hope that you're all going to leave this live and go and follow her on LinkedIn. If you've had a business for more than 6 months or 1 year, you don't have a CPA, or you are not happy with the CPA you have, you need Iralma in your life. Okay? If I didn't have a CPA that I've been working with for the past 21 years, I would hire Iralma today. I have had a CPA from even before I started a business. When I was a resident, I had a CPA because my dad told me that you need somebody who's going to help you manage your money. So I listened and I invested. My CPA is not in Georgia. He's in New York. I met him in New York, but because he was so good, this guy from Ghana, I kept him as my CPA, and he's still the CPA for both of my medical practice and my creative business. You need a CPA in your life. So her name is here. I have pinned it. Make sure you follow Iralma. She is full of knowledge. I may actually even just go to her for some here and there consultation as needed, even though I have a CPA, because she's wonderful. Okay, I wanted to say that because this is really important. You need a CPA if you want your business to survive. Now, Winnie, let me take your question real quick. Winnie is asking, and I do commend Winnie. I want to commend her right here in front of everyone. Winnie, salary is 5 figures. She earns 5 figures in a year, but she paid me $5,000 to hire me as her coach. She paid for my coaching boot camp. She invested $5,000 in herself, and she's already launched her coaching business, and she already has clients lined up who want to work with her. Okay, Winnie is asking, so Winnie, I'm commending you here in front of the world, because that takes grit, that takes confidence, and that takes a lot of courage. So well done. Winnie says, how can women learn to negotiate better? How do they figure out their own value?
Well, first I would say figure out what you feel uncomfortable about yourself, right? Like for example, is it communication? Is it how you present yourself? Is it not having the right connections? And then you can start having some clarity on that. Then, can you repeat the question? Sorry, I got so caught up in my own thoughts.
That's okay. How can women learn to negotiate better, and how do they figure out their own value?
Great. So how do you have to make sure that you realize negotiation is not a one-time thing. So let's say, for example, if I set up pricing for coaching, right, or a course, I then have to go back and say, okay, if I want someone to consult me on this course, what is that going to look like? So it's not a one-time thing. You're going to set up some pricing model that you're going to figure out, like, how much, like, I have 20 years of experience, but it feels like I have a lifetime of experience, like my whole life, because I've worked and done so many different things. How much did it take me to get all this experience, right? Who are the people who invested in me, these degrees that I got for that, the licenses, certain things that I did in certain jobs? What is the real cost that you have to pass on to people, your overhead, right? So it's not just, I'm doing this and I think I should charge $200, but I'm not sure. What is your true cost to get to where you were already? And then what is this going to be, what value is this bringing to someone? If I'm going to offer someone a solution that's going to save them 2 months worth of work, and they're going to be able to make $1 million, like, I'm not allowed as a CPA to charge people like a percentage, but I'm saving them so much time and they're going to be able to make $1 million. I'm not going to charge them $10,000 for that, right? If I'm replacing someone's entire accounting department and I'm hiring people to do that, I have to figure out what that's worth, right? Like, what am I bringing to them? Like, what advisory services am I bringing to them? So first you have to figure out, like, how much have you invested in yourself? What's the market rate for the work that you're going to provide? And then what value are you bringing to other people? So it's not just you, it's what are you doing out there as well. And years of experience has nothing to do with longevity, like with longevity, right? Like expertise has nothing to do with longevity. Just because you've done something just for 3 years doesn't mean that you're less qualified than someone who's doing it for 20. Like, I happen to think that some of the years that I have add value because I've done different things. But if I had sat there my first job doing the same thing over and over again, it would be a different conversation. Like, I can't come and charge you so much because I don't know anything. I haven't invested in myself. So don't feel that you don't know what you're doing. Like I said, you can buy anything. You can buy experience. You can actually buy the time of someone more experienced than you to do the work for you.
Yes.
So, like, in accounting, they say that you have to assess before you take a job if you're going to be able to do the work, if you're going to have the expertise on the team. On the team, that doesn't mean it has to be you. You can be the face of the company and outsource things, right? Like, I know most of the CPAs that I've ever worked with or know, they outsource certain things. They outsource their quality review. They outsource their marketing. They outsource certain projects that are very complex. No one said you have to do everything on your own. I think that is one of the issues that people have. They keep thinking, I'm going to work on my own and have to do everything on my own. That's not true. Like, right now, I have people that I can go to and get them to do certain things that it would take me a lifetime to learn, but it's my client and I can get it done, right? So negotiation starts with you knowing what you're bringing to the table and how you got to this table in the first place, right? And building your own table, because maybe you've never had a job that lets you showcase everything you can do, because they only, there's a ceiling to how far you can go. Management there doesn't care, or they just don't have the structure for you to do this extra work. So each time you may have to assess what the value is.
Okay, my last couple questions for you guys. This is the last call for questions. It seems like you guys are just soaking in all the information. I'm not getting many questions today. It feels like you guys are just soaking it in, and I get it because I'm soaking it all in too. And I am Jen. I want to say thank you for buying a badge. I do appreciate it. I am Jen. Thank you so much for buying a badge. So my last couple questions, I'm going to put them together. I love the online space now for doing business. I love it so much. I'm flourishing in this online coaching model that I have. I wish more doctors would be doing this because health and wellness coaches are so needed, and you can actually make, tons more money online than offline. I'm leveraging it now. Are other people catching on to making money online via online businesses? And what else has the pandemic taught us? Because I feel that the pandemic has really caused this surge in online businesses. What else have we learned from the pandemic? And then, guys, last call for questions. We're going to round up.
So people appear to be saying that there's one study, I think it was from Salesforce, saying that the billion online clients are not going anywhere. Like, people are liking this. The younger generations prefer to do everything online. And at some point when they get that generation wealth transfer, they're going to have more money to spend online. Then there's all these businesses had to pivot, right? Like, if you want to survive, you're going to have to be able to provide things online. When things are closed, how are people going to be able to access you? If you don't have a platform, if you're not using platforms where people can actually engage with you and be able to buy your products or learn from you online, then you're not going to have a business. So there has to be that lever, like back to subscriptions, right? Some way that they can either buy a course or buy some of your material or have a meeting with you remotely.
Yes.
That's going to be very important for anyone who's setting up any type of business. Having platforms of being able to communicate with clients. If you have to set up a chat bot or have like some community resources where people can go in and look at the questions that they normally have without having to ask you each time. But having some resources and being accessible is very important online.
So do you think women are catching on to this online business world?
I think they are, but I think that some people are still having some fear, thinking that there's a lot of money they need to spend. There are a lot of platforms out there where you don't have to know any coding, right? I've used some of them and I've been surprised. I've set like the whole day apart to set up a course, and I'm like, wait, this is it? You mean I could just set this up, have this up and running, do a pre-launch, and that's it?
Yes.
So make sure that you set up, you do research. So you look at reviews and you look at functionality and you understand what your actual skills are. You can set up anything online nowadays with like 4 apps. Your accounting app, your emailing app, your the platform you're going to use, a website. You can actually do that, and you can outsource that to someone.
Yes.
So understanding that is a different ballgame. Like, if you spend the rest of the day setting something up, by tomorrow morning it can be available. That the rules have changed. You don't have to have all this money to set something up. You can go on Shopify and set up your shop.
Yes.
It really depends on you. Don't limit yourself in thinking that everything has to be perfect and that you need millions of dollars to set up a business. Don't believe that hype. Most people you can actually set up a Zoom account and be coaching tomorrow.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
There's payment, there's a way to accept payments there. And you can have Calendly. So don't limit yourself. Like, on LinkedIn, people talk about apps they use. And then you're like, wait, that's all you use? Are you serious?
Yes.
Like, I asked one person, he said all he used was Zoom for a summit that had thousands of people on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you don't know, you keep limiting yourself.
Exactly.
Things are not as difficult as you think.
Honestly, like I said, 18 years ago, I had to start a business with 350,000. The coaching business that I set up last year, it's cost me close to nothing. It's just this, my confidence, and my brain knowledge. And I'm charging $10,000 per client. I mean, I know that it's all the knowledge I've acquired over the years, but this is why we are here to help you shortcut your stress. All you have to do is show up. Basically, with this online space, you just have to show up and do lives and be a good public speaker and position yourself well and brand yourself well, which is everything a business. So basically, the business that I set up 18 years ago with 350,000, you can set it up now by just hiring a coach for $10,000, maybe another $5,000 for your website and a few graphic artists and all that here and there. You can set up the same business that will eventually be grossing 1 million in 5 years with $15,000 today. Did you guys hear me? Because I know that my coaching business is going to get to the $1 million mark, probably even in less than 5 years. Meanwhile, I invested $350,000 18 years ago, but today you can start a business that will be scaled to 1 million with $15,000. It's really not that hard, guys. It's really not that hard. But anyway, last question, then we're going to wrap it up. Winnie says, would you all say entrepreneurship is easier now than it was 15 years ago?
Yes, because now there's more information. Now you have more access to people. Like during the pandemic, I've been networking like a college kid who needs a job. And I've been having meetings with people that I've never had access to before because I've been on LinkedIn and I've been DMing them and following them and engaging with them. I don't even know what time zone people are in. I have to like check and see where they are, what city they are. I don't know if they're sleeping or what they're doing before they meet with me. So you have more access to people. You have more information. You have more case studies. There's so much more that you can do without having, like, I haven't stepped outside of my house, so I'm exaggerating, but I haven't even been doing all the things I should be doing, and people are coming to me and giving me their business, right? Before, I would have had to go out there and be knocking on doors and begging for meetings and wasting my money on taking them to lunch, just to get even a third of or a tenth of the traction. So it's much easier, but you still have to show up, and you still have to be building relationships and having meaningful interactions and being aware that just because someone isn't going to buy something from you today doesn't mean that they don't know someone else. So those people skills, treating people well because they'll remember, and making sure that you present yourself well and you let people know what you want to do. Because if you don't have your elevator pitch and people can't remember what you do, and if you don't have a personality and people don't like you, then you're not attracting business. So it's still the same basic. If you go back to Dale Carnegie's books about how to influence people and make friends, that hasn't changed. What's changed is the access to people and to things and all these systems that, you're not going to need all these large systems, expensive systems, and only being able to meet people at conferences. You can meet people anywhere. And you can meet people in 2 seconds on Zoom. And you can scale more because you have platforms that you can share more information.
Yes. Now people are warming up. So do you mind, can I just take this last question? And Iralma,
sure.
I already have something that I'm going to discuss with you. I have something that I think you could help me with. So I'm going to leave that voice note, or as we're talking, I'm thinking, okay, I need to hire, pay Iralma to do this one thing for me. So guys, if you're already like me, I hope you're already thinking about how Iralma could help your business, because I already have one thing I think she would be fantastic for me. So the last question is, what is the additional value a CPA brings to a startup business? QuickBooks reports. Oh my gosh, a lot more, but Iralma, tell them.
Well, remember, because I actually teach accounting courses, right? So any accounting system is garbage in, garbage out. If you don't know what you're putting in there, it doesn't matter. If you don't know the tax law and you don't know that you can deduct lunches and you don't put them into QuickBooks, or you're using your personal accounts, you're commingling everything, and then you have a mess. And so let's backtrack. You're trying to start a business. You don't know anything about business formation. You set up your business wrong, right? Let's say it should have been set up as a not-for-profit or S corp or a partnership, and you set it up as a sole proprietor. You don't know which way you were supposed to set it up. So now you may be losing some tax savings, or you may not be keeping your books properly. So you don't know, like when you're taking withholdings from your business, how they should be coded. If you don't remember that you have to divide certain things, right? You're using your personal accounts. The IRS audits you. I used to be an IRS auditor, by the way. They audit you, and now they open up everything. Like, do you really need the IRS to question you about why you accidentally put your Rent the Runway subscription on your business? Because you're not J-Lo. You can't do that. So not knowing, like not having anyone ever look at your books, right? And telling you what's wrong, or not even setting up your business properly, taking some deductions that you should, understanding what your startup costs are, that can throw you off. Not having any advice on, let's say, you don't know anything about payroll. You never had an employee. You never managed an employee. You never worked in HR. Not understanding sales tax, for example. If you want to go out there and set up all this merchandise for your coaching business, but you don't know anything about sales tax, and for some reason people in a state like New York want to buy all your merchandise, and you've never collected any sales tax, and you get a sales tax audit, you're not going to have fun. That's something that is beyond your business. There's tax planning, for example. If you never set up any of these accounts for the perks that you could have for your business, and then the end of the year comes and now you owe, you did great. You grossed millions of dollars, but you owe all this tax because you never, you got an extension because you were busy on vacation, and now it's too late to contribute to these other accounts that can save you money. Like you never had any talk with anyone about that. So not having a CPA in your, like a CPA, a lawyer, a salesperson, and a marketing person, not having any of these people is going to cost you a lot of money. It may make you look like you don't know what you're doing, right? Like if you're bringing people on to do work for you and you never get their information, you never issue them the 1099s, things can get very messy very quickly. And some people think that they have to pay an arm and a leg to retain someone. You can, if you don't have complex business dealings, you can just talk to someone on a case-by-case basis, consult them that way, or have someone look at your books quarterly or do quarterly projections. But if you don't know anything about taxes, if you've never run a business, if you've never looked at a budget or anything, and then you never know where your money is going. Especially people don't realize that your employees can be stealing from you.
Oh,
like so don't even get me started.
Part 2. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Iralma. Many medical businesses have collapsed because their office manager was siphoning money into another account.
Like for example, I have a lot of connections who, that's what they do. They do investigations. They come in and they see if you have any internal controls. They see if money is kind of being diverted somewhere. They use like data analytics. But if you have your books on Excel or on QuickBooks, but you don't keep them up, there's nothing for anyone to check, right? Everything is all over the place. So I think that people should not be doing their own books if they don't need to. They should have a bookkeeper and they should have a CPA. Anything that you don't spend money on is costing you in the long run. So it's not that you should spend everything in the world, but let's say if you're a doctor, like I was talking to someone the other day and he's sitting there reconciling his own books. And I'm asking him, how much money can you be making right now while you're doing this? The hour you're spending doing your accounting every day, like that's 5 hours. For 5 hours, you could be making over $1,000 seeing patients. So no accountant is going to charge him $1,000 a week to do a reconciliation. So I told him, what is your time worth to you? Why are you doing this? Why are you out there chasing more clients or sailing on a boat?
I don't know why I'm laughing, but doctors do this all the time. They want to do everything because they think they can keep the money to themselves, and then they're seeing 40 patients a day like me, but they're only grossing 200,000 instead of 1.2 million. Why? because they're tired. They don't know coding. They don't know anything about the business. They don't have a CPA, and they think that's how to do it. And they're like, oh, how are you making 1.2 million from only 40 patients a day? I said, because I'm getting paid everything. Look at your books. There was a time I used to audit practices. I'm like, look at your books. Your collection rate is 40%. You know, so Iralma, we're going to do part 2. I'm sure there's going to be many people, including myself, coming to you for business. OAD Chic, how do you develop a personality if you're introverted? You hire a business coach like myself. Okay? I am an introvert, believe it or not. You can ask my friends from before. I don't like being in places with people and all that. I'm an extroverted introvert, but when it comes to my business, I'm an extrovert. But in real life, I'm an introvert. When I walk into a party, I'm sitting in the corner. You know, that's not an excuse. You can be shy and be an introvert, but you can also be a formidable entrepreneur. You need me in your life. All that introversion will go away. Okay, you guys are getting me animated now. Once I get animated, you know that. And then Karina Conkers says, what all would you say that you need in your business? You need a lawyer, you need a CPA, you need a coach, you need a mentor. What else would you say is a must to keep everything up and running? Just one or two words, because Karina needs a coach. Karina has been in and out of my DM. So let's just give her some basics that she needs, because we can't give all the
consistency, and support. So remember, support, part of it you're going to pay for and part of it you're not. I'm going to be a guest. Yes, I'm also an introvert, but I don't know what has happened. My grandchildren's trust fund has happened. I do, but this book called What's Your And that book is basically about having more than just your job function, right? When people ask you who you are, you can't just say, hi, I'm a CPA. Like, who are you as a person? What else are you interested in? Oh, I'm interested in wellness. I'm interested in running. I'm interested in writing, whatever the case may be. You have to have a life outside of this. Otherwise, it's just going to suck you in and you're going to find more things to do. Every time you save time and money, you're going to go back and you're going to find something else to do. So you have to have a cap and say, these are my limits. At 4 o'clock, I shut it down. Put the laptop in the drawer. Even though I have my space set up, you have to shut it down, have boundaries with yourself. But you have to be consistent. It can't be, you work, like think about like when I was running for training marathons. I can't train today, take a week off, and the marathon is in November. I have to follow this training schedule. So you have to have a roadmap for yourself. Even if you change your mind, you know, they say that your plans should be set, but the way that you get there should be flexible. I think that that's not always true. You have to have some type of plan. There has to be a baseline for you where you're saying every day, regardless of what happens, I'm going to do this. Whether it's engage with 5 people, try to get these 5 leads, whatever. You have to have consistency. You can't just, things are not going to fall out of the sky. So there has to be some type of plan. And if you know you need something, if the reason you're not following up with your coaching is because of money, go back and negotiate about your money. Get that money you need so you can provide for yourself and invest in yourself the way you think you should. Cut things out, right? I know that we don't like to, like, you know, if you need to stop buying chicken that's boneless and like, you know, sometimes we waste our money. Like, do you not have 5 minutes to take the skin off the chicken and the bones out? You know, you're not making veal.
Yeah, like we did growing up, right? We didn't have boneless chicken in Nigeria. If you didn't want the skin, you yank off the skin. Yeah, you know.
So make time and clear your resources and your time to make sure you can invest in yourself, and don't just do it one time, right? If I was gonna get married and I was trying to lose weight for the wedding, I'm not gonna see the trainer one time a week. I'm gonna consistently be working on this thing, right? So I think consistency is important, because if you don't stick to something, then you're just experimenting over the place. You're not going to get to where you want to go.
Yes. So, Karina, your answer was consistency. Iralma, this was gold. This was wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. We'll have to do the part 2 again. Whenever you're ready to do the part 2, I'm ready for you actually. Just let me know because there's more. I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel, guys. It will be on my YouTube in 15 minutes. Iralma, I'll send you the link in case you need to post it anywhere. And I'm going to post on Instagram that everybody needs to watch this replay because this in itself is a masterclass. Honestly, what we just did right now is probably worth $5,000 masterclass because you can't find all of this knowledge in one place in 1.5 hours all together. So guys, go and get in touch with Iralma. I'm going now to LinkedIn to leave her a voice note on LinkedIn because that's where she's most active because I have an idea for her where she can help me. So guys, run to LinkedIn now and connect with her. Iralma, thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.
Have any closing statement? Do you have anything you want to say about the work you do, how people can get in touch with you? And yeah.
So as of now, so LinkedIn is a good place to follow me because I kind of post everything there. I also have listed on here on Instagram my Padilla site. So I'm going to be posting more and more there. I'm going to be creating more courses. I do have 2 books on Amazon that I self-published during the pandemic.
Oh,
They're
really?
very quick reads. One of them is about financial vision, setting your visions because people don't have any idea where to start. And I don't think that you can accomplish your financial plans without setting a plan. You have to set a goal. And the other one is about advisory services. So like doing an exercise to figure out how you can set it up, like doing some inner work in sorts. So nothing technical. It's more about you.
Yeah, which is important. Yeah. So if we type in your name on Amazon, will your books come up?
Yes.
Okay, guys. So type her name on Amazon, her books will come up, and her name is Head.
And I wish you all to be very brave and to take a chance on yourself and to invest in yourself. Remember that life is not, no one is going to come to save us. We have to really show up. And it doesn't matter where you are right now, right? It could take years. But if you keep showing up consistently, you're going to get somewhere, right? So don't forget that you don't have to do everything alone. Sure, you don't want to spend all your money over the place, but you know what? Investing in yourself is going to cost you time and money. So don't just think things are going to fall in your lap. Don't be afraid. Don't let fear stop you. Don't let money stop you. When you show up, things show up. You may not have the money for something and you get this email that says a webinar for the thing that you're looking for. Or somebody will post something with this tool that you need. So it's up to you to ask. Put it out there. And things will come. And be realistic with yourself. Don't force yourself to walk off the hamster wheel to do more things that you don't like. Entrepreneurship should not be a punishment. It should be to live your life according to your terms.
Yes.
Right? To give yourself flexibility. And don't forget about tax planning. Don't just make money and just give it away to Uncle Sam. He's the worst uncle that there is. He just takes your money.
Yes.
Spend money to save money wherever you can.
Yes. Thank you, Ralma. We love you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone. Just go to my
Bye.
YouTube, Dr. Iyabo Webzil. The replay will be on there. Bye-bye. Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.